Hello, this is Bill Carollo, Coordinator of Officials responsible for the Big Ten, Mid-American, and Missouri Valley Conferences. On behalf of Rogers Redding, National Coordinator of College Football Officiating, and our Rules Editor, this will be the fifth in a series of training videos for the 2013 season. Today's video will focus on game management, and in particular, what elements comprise great game management. Also included will be examples of how to handle player conduct, coaches' conduct, and officials properly handling some very difficult and pressure situations. With that, let's begin. Officials are mostly evaluated by coordinators, coaches, media, and fans on the following 5 criteria: field presence, fitness and appearance, rules and mechanic knowledge, personal qualities, and of course, accuracy and consistency. Seldom is game management a measured standard. So, how should game management be measured? Well, the first thing we look for is answers to the following 2 questions. First, are we able to solve problems under pressure? And then secondly, do we manage the major moments of each game with confidence, control, and strength? As you can see, and maybe you already know, officiating is more of an art than a science. Let's first start with how we define each skill set required in game management. Confidence. Confidence in officiating can be defined as projecting an attitude that when any situation arises, it will be handled effectively, efficiently, and correctly. So how do we develop confidence without giving the impression that we have a big ego? The best and fastest path to confidence is preparation. Be prepared for any situation and you will have the confidence to solve any challenge. Control. The ability to keep ourselves, our crew, the players, coaches, and the entire game under the official's authority. So how do we develop control? By being consistent and firm with all of our calls and actions from the moment we step out on the field. And our third skill set is strength, and that can be defined as a presence that lets everyone know I can handle everything thrown my way and you're not afraid to step up and make a call. And how do you develop strength? Well, it takes experience, but most of all, it takes courage and not being afraid you might make a mistake. Also, you have to have the guts to admit when you're wrong. Some keys to a great manager. First, preparation and organization. Second, being an expert communicator. Third, making the difficult play look easy. And of course, never fumbling the easiest of plays. Fourth, show confidence and control all the time. And fifth, earn the trust of the crew, the players, coaches, and media. If you show these qualities, everyone will feel comfortable when you step out onto the field. Now, before we see some examples of some great game management, let's review some basic guidelines. Player conduct can be put in 2 basic categories: unsportsmanlike conduct fouls, and secondly, unnecessary roughness fouls. When managing games and enforcing unsportsmanlike conduct fouls 9-1, perhaps these guidelines will be helpful. Remember, the game is of high emotion. Secondly, do not be overly technical in applying these rules. Allow for a brief, spontaneous, emotional reactions at the end of a play. But beyond the brief, spontaneous bursts of energy, officials should flag those acts that are clearly prolonged, self-congratulatory, and that make a mockery of the game. Basically, use good judgment and good, solid common sense. Let's take a look at several plays that involve unsportsmanlike conduct fouls. Our first play takes us to the Music City Bowl a few years ago in an overtime situation. After the receiver catches the touchdown pass, this is a good example of a spontaneous reaction and is not a foul by wide receiver number 85. However, the quarterback's actions directed toward his opponent's bench is definitely a foul for a double throat slash. Actions like this should not be tolerated. Our next play will have another touchdown pass and with another quick throat slash that we do call properly. This is a good example of staying with your players and continue to officiate.
Where he gets flagged because he draws attention to himself with a little bit of this. Watch what he shows you. Not the shake, that one right there.
Players flexing their muscles and drawing attention to themselves are fouls. This is a nice pickup by the referee in this case. Stopping these actions early will pay dividends later in the game.
unsportsmanlike conduct.
That should be flagged every single time across the country.
Taunting, baiting, or ridiculing an opponent is our next example. Remember, this bye-bye act is a spot foul. Pointing a finger or the ball at an opponent is a foul. Good pickup by the side judge in this next play, seeing the player stick his finger into the ear hole of an opponent's helmet. And as you can see, the referee is under control, he's calm, and he announces with strength and confidence.
Dead ball penalty. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Taunting. Defense. Number 27. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
2013 provided an expanded definition of unsportsmanlike conduct fouls to include the following. Dead ball contact fouls, such as pushing, shoving, striking, etc., sometimes referred to as chicken fighting, that are not part of the game action. Our next play is a good example of such. If we can get to the players and prevent such acts, great. If not, and they continue, and it is not part of the game action, these will now become unsportsmanlike conduct fouls in 2013. Here you will see a hard hit to the receiver by the defender number 15. But after the hit, the defender steps over the injured player, taunts the players on the bench, then continues to taunt the crowd. Officials will recognize these multiple unsportsmanlike actions, quickly move in to control the situation, flag the infractions, and also disqualify the player, properly handled by this crew. The second category of player conduct involves personal fouls, unnecessary roughness. This season's main point of emphasis has been the protection of defenseless players and using the crown of the helmet. We recently saw two excellent training videos by Big 12 coordinator Walt Anderson that clearly define such actions and how to properly prepare ourselves for the season in this area. I will not focus on targeting in this video, but will show several other illegal acts of unnecessary roughness. Our first play involves a good example of crew involvement with strong game control after a kickoff. Notice the action by Michigan number 27 as he launches and hits his opponent late. Great example of an entire crew getting involved to manage the high emotions in a pressure game. Also, the referee announces with confidence, strength, and is in complete control of the situation.
After the play, dead ball, personal foul, number 27 on the return team. Half the distance, first down.
Umpires have one of the toughest jobs in officiating. Controlling the pits is critical to good game management. Umpires' presence and constant communications with the players throughout the game are key. On the next play, you will see offensive lineman number 54 strike his opponent well after the play.
A sack. You see here, Rick Elmore, Seal, Zach Williams is pushing, and throwing the ball.
Yeah.
And when that happens,
That
you're
was
generally
a punch.
kicked out.
When we get to bowl season, tempers seem to flare, and sometimes the worst comes out in some players. In this particular game, I believe there were 6 unnecessary roughness calls. Nevertheless, no matter how big the game is, throwing a punch or fighting will not be tolerated. Please watch the action of number 22 at the top portion of the screen. We'll have a very close play at the goal line that will eventually go to replay. Lots of things to think about here. The back judge and side judge get together and disqualify number 22 for his actions. Head linesman does a good job keeping the coach off the field and immediately explaining the call to the head coach. Great communication in a very difficult situation. Number 22 is properly disqualified. Another bowl game with high intensity and well handled by this crew. Constant chicken fighting throughout the game leads to illegal acts of striking and punching by both players. Another example of officials under control, poised to handle the toughest calls, and properly announced by this referee.
After the play,
Personal foul on the defense, number 15 is ejected. Also, personal foul, offense, number 1 is also ejected. Penalties offset.
Now let's move to coaches' conduct. Handling players on the field is one thing. Handling irate coaches are a whole nother ballgame. Finding ways to control the head coach is a real skill, but very possible to achieve. Early conversations at the sideline build rapport with these coaches. Sometimes even the best pregame conferences with the head coach and a solid communications with their get-back coach, our efforts fall by the wayside under pressure situations. Now let's look at a few plays that involve coaches' behavior with regard to game management. Here's an example of a terrific call for offensive pass interference on the wide receiver number 6 at the bottom of the screen. An additional flag should be thrown on the coach's actions after the penalty is announced. Sideline officials work hard to restrain the coach, but clearly he can and will not be stopped by his own coaches or players. This action crosses the line and must be called. Another coach gets excited on the next play, but there the referee does an excellent job getting the coach to the sideline and explains the call. He is poised, in complete control, and firm with his handling of his upset coach.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the offense, offensive tackle. Timeout.
A flag for unsportsmanlike conduct is clearly avoided by great game management.
Hubert Owens saying, I'll talk to you. We'll go get on your sidelines. Let's not make a scene here.
Our next play involves unnecessary roughness called at the sideline, but after discussion with the referee and the covering officials, the flag is properly picked up. The referee does a very professional job explaining that there is no foul on the play, but the opposing coach still comes out on the field to challenge the call.
30, a first down.
There is no foul on the play for a late hit out of bounds. The action in question has been deemed legal. It's third down.
Good efforts are made to avoid flagging the opposing coach, but his throwing the game card to the ground in disgust will and should bring a flag as he is trying to show up the crew on a correct call. If crazy things are going to happen, it's usually on special teams plays. Our next play demonstrates proper mechanics, good judgment, correct rules knowledge, and proper use of the microphone by the referee. But still, the coach does not understand the rule or the referee's explanation, and certainly he does not know we will not put up with certain magic words being said toward officials.
The ruling on the field is that the member of the receiving team must have punt. The ball went into the end zone where the receiving team took possession of it. By rule, that is a touchback.
Good job by the field judge to listen professionally until his coach crosses this line. He is strong, confident, and not afraid to make the proper call. To finish up our plays, 2 miscellaneous plays are included. Play 1 involves a hurry-up situation. Officials are not in position to officiate this next play. Mechanically, we might be able to control this quick snap better by having the umpire stay over the ball longer, but I thought the referee and crew does a great job handling the play properly after the fact. This is excellent mic work by the referee in a very difficult situation.
For the snap.
There is no play. The ball is not made ready for play. The officials were not in position.
When the game is on the line and millions of people are staying up late to watch an exciting game, not only do the officials have to be ready for the unexpected, but so does replay. even though in this case the entire world knew it was going to be a Hail Mary pass. Y'all have seen this play dozens of times, but with the score tied 31-31, fourth quarter, 4 seconds left, the pressure is on. Big stage, plenty of pressure, and getting it right. Let's take another look.
Nick Toon, but they put Jared Abbrederis back there instead.
Three-man rush. Cousins on the last play of regulation chucks it to the end zone. Caught. Michigan State's caught it on a rebound. Hold on. It is just short of the end zone. Instant replay. We'll take a look at this. The Spartans caught the ricochet. They want the touchdown. Instant replay will have to decide now. Ball was caught by Keith Nichol. Take a look.
Abbrederis gets in the air and gets a hand on it. Nichol is right in the front. It comes right into his hands. Does the ball cross the plane? Taylor is fighting like crazy to prevent it from breaking the plane. Boy, it was really close. Really close. Look at Abbrederis gets up in the air. The ball goes off of Sims and Cunningham. Nichol is right there. And Taylor's doing everything he can to keep the ball away from breaking the plane.
So instant replay will decide it. Remember, the call on the field is no touchdown. Indisputable to turn this over. Remember that, as Nichol was battling and Taylor had him wrapped up. The one-time quarterback caught the ricochet. Take another look at this now. This is what instant replay is doing. You be the official.
I mean, Brent, it is right at the line.
Well, that will conclude this training video on game management. Being in the right game, making the right call at the right time is what we all strive for in officiating. Doing it with confidence, strength, and control is what is expected as a collegiate official. We must be poised, confident, and have the strength to make the most difficult calls while under pressure. It takes courage to manage the game effectively and to truly earn the respect of the players and coaches. Again, our officiating avocation is more of an art than a science. Good luck this season and continued success.